This is a typical scenario in my market, about a $700,000 purchase price. And there's 4 columns on here because there's 4 different ways, right, that a buyer on a $700,000 home, putting 10% down in this scenario, can go about handling the buyer's side commission. How does the realtor get paid? So I simply in the video walk them through this, and I just tell everyone to focus on the summary section. There's 4 columns, and I read them and walk them through it. So in the first column here, what I'm showing you all is that this is just how it was pre-NAR and how it probably will be, honestly, on call it 80+% of transactions moving forward, at least for the time being, right? So this is just a normal 10% down purchase, payments 5132, and their total cash out of pocket with down payment and closing cost is right around $83,400. Okay. So me explaining this in the video is that, hey, this is the most likely option, right? That is going to happen. A seller is going to provide the buyer side commission, and you're making a $700,000 purchase, et cetera, et cetera. And this is what the numbers look like. Now, let's say in column number 2, the seller is not providing any type of buyer representation compensation. So that means that you're liable for it, right, as the consumer. So I'm using a 3%, right, commission on this, on how the buyer's agent is paid. And I'm just showing them where it says financed in loan. So what I'm showing this individual here is that, hey, we can finance that loan, that $21,000 into the loan amount. So instead of having a $630,000 loan, you're going to have a $651,000 loan, which is the buyer side commission, right? And your payment is going to be $52.75. So your payment goes up about $142 a month, right, to finance that commission. But you don't have to come out of pocket with it. So the cash to close is exactly the same. So that's one really easy, simple solution when you explain it to a buyer, of that if you can't do number A, number B is an option. Now, the third column where it says financed in price. So this means that we would be raising the purchase price by the commission, right? And then asking, for a credit of sorts in order to make that happen. So we raise it, it's itemized on the HUD, et cetera. And in this case, your loan amount is going to be $648,900. So it's going to be, $18,000 higher, et cetera. But if you look here, the payment is actually, right, like more than if you finance it in the loan. But this is an opportunity for you if you wanted to do it this way. So your payments there would be $52.86. Total cash out of pocket goes up a little bit by $100-ish. So showing them that, hey, you can finance it in the loan in column 2. You can also finance it in the price, right, in column 3. Or in column number 4, if you just wanted to pay for it, right, yourself, you just wanted to write a check for it, pay for it. In that case, your payment would be exactly the same as it would be if the seller was paying it at $51.32, but your cash to close is going to be $104,000 versus $83,000 to $85,000. So this just gives a really clear sense to the buyer on exactly how it can work, that they do have options. And just like any TCA, like I always like to show what's obvious to me, right? So obvious to me is like, hey, column number 1 or column number 2, right? Like that's what, like, it's obvious to me, but it's not obvious to people that don't know what we do. And so showing them all the options and letting them come to their own conclusion as to which are the best options for them and letting them pick is critical. And this is what we're doing for our agents within the NAR settlement conversation.